Hello, I am Andres, an IB chemistry teacher, full-time in an international school, and I am also an IB chemistry examiner. In this video, I want to share the strategies of my best performing students in every paper, every quiz, and also the higher achievers in the final exam. So with these tricks and strategies, if you are following them, most likely you will have also these results that you are expecting. Okay, first, I titled this presentation "How to Get a 7 in IB Chemistry." Of course, you can get a 6 as well. The thing is that this is the strategies. So this is the top scorer method used by real students, as I mentioned before, in SL and HL. This is not a ChatGTP content, so I am not creating this with ChatGTP. This is the story of my students. Okay, all of my students who got good grades. This is not just another top student success story. The ones that you can find online, and you can find the perspective, even though they are very good. I am gathering information from different people and different students. They are exact strategies I've been seeing work year after year. I'm talking about 5 years in the IB and 10 years as a chemistry teacher. That's my experience, and I still currently teaching the subject in an international school. I am helping you from day one to the exam day. Okay, so let's start with the first strategy. Now, the first strategy is to start with precision. So the thing is that you will have that conversation with your teacher before the first lesson. And this is when you have the opportunity to ask for the exact syllabus and subtopics. Okay. Don't study general topics. Don't accept that your teacher is going to tell you we will start in with a stoichiometry or with the atom. So what I encourage is that you ask for the exact content or the learning objective. Like in the syllabus, in the IB syllabus, the learning objectives are very clear. For example, in structure 1.1.1, elements are primary constituents of matter. This is the part of the title. This is the learning objective, and this is the thing that you need to ask to your teacher. Which part in the syllabus are we going to study during the next lesson? Not only the general topic. Why? Because in the guide there is a detailed structure of how to approach this learning objective, and it can be very beneficial for you if you read this before the lesson. Okay, so this is the strategy one. If you cannot find the learning objectives of the syllabus, you can check in the description below, and you will see that in the chemistry guide they are very clear and you can find them. Sometimes your teacher is giving to you the first lesson before the first lesson, and sometimes they are not giving that material, so you can download it here. The second strategy, I named this the 40-40-20% rule, even though some students say, of course, this is 75 or 50-50 rule. I will explain you what is this about, and then you can distribute the loads as you wish. This is the overall answer from my students. Okay, so 40% in class participation, note taking, and PPT. Okay, in this case, take advantage of every lesson. They are very important. Don't skip even one. If you need to run a very important errand, try to do it after the chemistry lesson, after or before the chemistry lesson, but please don't skip one of the lesson. Why? The thing is that the syllabus is very complex, is detailed, is big, and if you miss one of the lesson, you can miss one learning objective. Missing one learning objective could be very bad for you because then you will not able to understand the following learning objective. Okay, sometimes I have a student, particular student, that he say I couldn't attend that lesson, and I say yes, effect, as you mentioned, the topic, the question that is in the paper was explained in detail in that lesson that you didn't attend. So I highly recommend you participate and attend all the lessons. Also, raise your hand when you have questions. Very good note taking. There are many strategies to take notes effectively. And also, if it's possible and if your teacher is willing to give you the PowerPoint presentation use, just accept it, just go to the resources that your teacher is giving you, and that will be very useful. I could say that this is 40% because it is very important and you have to focus in this. You need to make the most of your chemistry lesson. 40% active self-study. So you need to have some time at home. I don't say 2 hours, 1 hour. I think 30 minutes. I tell my students by dedicating 20 minutes in the afternoon or at night to chemistry, that will consolidate very effectively the topics that you've learned. Sometimes the topics, the theories are abstract and they are very easy to forget. Yes, so that's why I highly recommend this. There are many YouTube video explanations. You can read your notes from the class. You can solve chapter questions in order to test yourself if you know how to do it properly, if you understood, and 10 minutes preparing for the next class. Okay, so you can use 10 minutes active study, self-study, and then 10 minutes to prepare for the next class, next lesson. And what meaning that next class is the learning objective that the teacher we talked about. Okay, then the 20% is revision and memory tools. This mainly is what you are close to a test, even though it's not expected. It's something that you must do. Revision and memory tools while you are getting in the topics. If you are understanding, why not solve some questions in Quizlets? You can go to past paper questions. There are very big websites with good data. Revision Village and Revision Dojo have IB style questions that you can practice. Okay, so this is the strategy two, and also past papers, but I will elaborate more about this in the next strategy. Number three is common terms and past papers. As I mentioned before in the strategy, I will elaborate about these past papers. Okay, so past papers are not optional, they are a must. What I am saying that even though you are learning chemistry and chemistry is a language, you have to understand that past papers and question from past papers have an style. Okay, they have an style. You need to know how to approach and understand what they mean with what they want you what they want you to show in that question. Okay, and this is how you understand the style. How can you do it? Practicing past papers. Sometimes you have a question and the question has 2 marks and you are only targeting 1 mark because you don't understand how to approach the question or because you don't know how is the IBS style in that case. Okay, so I will read the definition here. Common terms are the first part of every past paper question, of every question from the IB. Okay, so it says that common terms indicate the specific cognitive skill required to answer each question. Okay, so when you understand the common terms, you know exactly how to show the answer that they are looking for. Remember that examiners, I know because I am an examiner, and I am just looking exactly some explanations, some words, some key statements that are showing that the student know the topic, the chemistry. Okay, so that's why common terms is absolutely important. Okay, grabs the mark scheme's logic. What I'm saying, the logic is the style, and it's important to know how to earn every single mark. Sometimes you will have a very easy question, like you said, okay, the answer is this word, but it has 3 marks. So the answer is not that word. You have to elaborate a little bit more. How? By practicing, by studying past papers and the common terms. Okay, that will be strategy number 3. Strategy 4, I could say, is the hidden topics that matter. The thing is that, of course, this is the obligation of the teacher. This is what the teacher has to do. But it's important that you are aware of this. Okay, I'm talking about the hidden topics. So, in the IB Chemistry Guide, every learning objective has a linking question, has nature of science link, and it has tools and inquiry process. Okay, every learning objectives. Some learning objectives will have one tool or two tools. Some will talk about the linking questions. Why I'm talking about that and why this is very important, guys, for you to know is because they are critical for paper 1B, the one that is targeting investigation skills and laboratory skills. Paper 2, general content, and the internal assessment. I will explain what is the meaning of all of these assessments in detail in another video. Okay, so it's very important and to be aware of this. The linking questions connect different topics and the relationship between two topics. For example, redox and the periodic table. Why some elements oxidate in one way depending on the location in the periodic table. This is an important thing. So redox is one of the topics in the syllabus. A periodic table and groups could be in periodicity another topic. When you understand the link between the two topics is when you are getting more knowledge. Okay, you are getting clear ideas, and this is what the program is looking for. Then the nature of science explores conceptual understandings related to the purpose, features, and impact of scientific knowledge. Sometimes, in some questions, they ask why is not very appropriate to use sulfuric acid in a certain practice. So you have to analyze why. So maybe because the acid is corrosive, maybe because the acid could burn or react with different substance. You have to think about this, and this is the nature of science. Okay, so I will creating this nature of science explanation as well in the future for you to understand fully. Tools, which is the last part, but it's very important, refers to the skills and techniques students must experience. This includes experimental techniques, technology, and mathematics. In paper 1B, this new syllabus is just testing how are the skills of the students in the laboratory. It's important that you know the materials, you know the techniques, you know how to gather information more effectively according to nowadays. Okay, probably you have run some experiments using sensors. Why are you using the sensors? Why um, reading from the sensors is more accurate and precise than reading for a, I don't know, burette? Okay, you need to know how is the uncertainty of different materials and how this uncertainty is impacting the reading of different measurements. Okay, so in tools you are learning investigation skills, and they are mainly for the paper 1B questions. Okay, for example, one question about separation technique, something very easy. I need to separate two liquids in an homogeneous mixture. You need to know what is the separation method. So distillation could be the method. How you are running the distillation and why the distillation, because they have different boiling point. All of these skills are the ones that you need to learn by studying these tools and inquiry process. Of course, this is work of your teacher, but if you are aware of these tools, then you will nail effectively the questions in the paper. Okay? If you cannot find them as well, check the description below and you will find them. Okay? This is the strategy number 4. Strategy number 5 could be like, oh, it's obvious. You said IB stuff. I know that I have to study a lot. Okay. But train like an athlete. There is a formula for athletes and success. This is sleep, exercise, nutrition, mindfulness. Guys, this is what you need to do. I have seen many students burn out at the middle of the program because they don't understand the topics, they don't understand the syllabus, grades are very bad, they don't know how to improve for the second year. And the thing is that you are always concerned about predicted grades because the predicted grades are the ones that will define you in order to apply to different universities, but your grades are already very low. Guys, I don't want you to get to this. That's why from first day you have to train and think that you are an athlete in chemistry and in the other subjects of the IB. I know that is tough. I know you have to prepare many subjects. There are a lot of internal assessments. There is an extended essay, and you have to do a lot. But please follow this from the beginning, down from the second year. You retain more when your brain is rest and supported. Okay? Study smarter and don't burn out, guys. This is the strategy number 5. And of course, when I ask, when I talk to my high achievers, my best students, and even after they sit the test, they say, yes, I took care of myself when I was studying the IB. I sleep well, I exercise, I eat balanced, and also I practice mindfulness and meditation. Guys, this is very important. As I mentioned to all my students, IB is the hardest thing, the DP diploma. Once you get to the university, you can study the topics that you really are passionate about. But here is the way that you will demonstrate if you deserve to go to the university of your dreams. Okay, guys. So this is the final strategy. If you need any support, if you have any question about this, if you need more resources of material, just please don't hesitate to write in the comments and contact me. See you in the next video.